What the fuck?
It's like croutons in a soup.
Don't turn down any opportunity, whether it's a camp, a clinic, because you never know literally who's watching.
Make your own decision and stick with them and know they're the right decisions, right? And even if they aren't right, don't regret them.
He didn't know creatine existed. So you got some creatine? He's like, oh, yeah. Lift heavyweight.
Shipped across the border. I shipped across the border.
Shipped across the border, man.
Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Shipped Across the Border. My name's Max, and I'm here with Chris, and we got a special episode today. We got to upgrade the setup. We're in the Gaylord Mansion for this episode.
You're the upgraded Rolnick.
Oh, we got the OG.
I don't know about that.
We got the OG on the podcast today. Marcus Steven Rolnick, what's going on? Welcome to Chicopee.
Happy to be here, both in Chicopee and on the podcast. Must be really struggling to get guests, so I'm happy to fill in some empty time.
No, actually, we've been thinking about doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Like I suggested this, I think, sophomore year, like the first time we came here.
To have me on the podcast.
We were thinking about having my dad on too, but that's just logistically
You have to get
impossible.
You have to get him to the
You
country.
have to go there.
Have to get him in the country. Have to get him adjusted to technology, and probably that wouldn't. I don't know. I think it would.
You got to
be
go
much
there.
harder.
You got to take the podcast.
Yeah.
We could. There's not great service over there.
No, we don't need service for this though.
Yeah, I guess we technically don't.
We could
But
do
yeah.
that too. But yeah, we've been thinking of this for a while.
So it was senior day yesterday. So we had a senior day game. We got a big dub, and my family came into town because obviously it's the last. The wheels are about to fall off. So
Last hurrah.
yeah. So family came down. It was an awesome moment. We beat Dean at home to put ourselves in a very good position for the playoff picture. We achieved 10 wins, so double-digit wins for the first time in I don't know, more than 10 years, I think. And yeah, it was an awesome moment. Some guys stepped up, and it was a great day. And so now that you guys are still here it was on Saturday, so we got a little bit more
Family
time.
Day weekend. Yeah.
Family Day weekend in Canada.
Yeah.
Shout out Canada. So yeah, we had an opportunity and took advantage of it. So I feel like I'm just going to be
Backseat to this
a
one?
backseat in this podcast. It's more just going to be like Chris asking you questions.
We can talk about how Max grew up and like what shaped Max. And
Some of those, yeah. I mean, I'll start with what were you like at Max's age?
Oh, damn. I don't remember myself at Max's age.
Really?
Well, we were talking about this a little bit today. He's graduating, and I was like, well, I remember when I was finishing school, kind of crazy. I do remember that when I was in high school, I thought I'd be able to play competitive basketball. And I did pharmacy school at the University of Manitoba. And I called up the coach and said, hey, I'm big Toronto guy coming to town. I thought I was hot shit. He's like, yeah, you could come try out, but we have a full team. And I got to Winnipeg. My roommate and a couple other guys in the dorm said, let's go play hoops. I said, yeah, this is going to be great. I was the worst guy of all of us, and only one of us tried out for the team, almost made it as a walk-on. And then that was it from basketball for me. But at his age, I was very focused on school. I did pharmacy school and kind of worked hard, played hard, probably worked harder than I played, quite honestly. But yeah, that was me at his age.
You see resemblances now, him grinding college basketball versus you grinding in school?
Yeah, probably. I think the intensity that I had for school, I was in a very tough program. Shout out to Elm's, very tough program too, in different ways.
I was going to say he probably sees more resemblance in Zach's school, because Zach's in engineering, my other brother. And
Yeah,
so
I'd
a little
say-
more resemblance in that experience.
Yeah, but the intensity that I had at school and when I was your age, or Zach has in an engineering program, was probably the intensity that you have towards basketball.
Yeah.
But I think I'm really happy that you've also been able to get a good education and going to hopefully parlay that into a great career ahead of you as well.
Can you recall what you thought your life was going to look like when you were his age?
No.
It's a very change of speed from our last episode.
Totally.
Sorry.
100 miles an hour into a wall.
Well, yeah. So, I remember growing up. Grew up in I'd say a very supportive home as well, and tried to provide like the examples that my parents set for me and Alyssa's parents set for her. We try to set for our kids, and hopefully we've done okay with that. But I remember thinking that I would never be as successful as my parents were in terms of what they were able to achieve. And we've been okay. I mean, it's just hard work and hustle kind of ends up working out. But I remember thinking, oh, it's going to be like, this is a slug. How am I going to afford a house? How am I going to, but you just, I don't know, hard work and
one foot in front of the
a
other.
lot of luck. What's that?
So you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. I mean, like it's progress in life, whether it's financially or personally, it's not linear. Just like we talk about this in basketball. You have like even the season, Max had a great first start to the season, like really, and then, probably not as great on the second half with injuries and sickness, whatever. But it's always just kind of moving forward, and it's not always linear, right? That's the key thing in life. Is just, can use your point, Max. You keep stepping forward.
Do you ever feel lost in your 20s?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you think, even when you think you have a direction, you're still kind of lost and second guessing yourself. And I think when I was growing up, my parents thought I'd be good if I went into medical school, and I was like, well, I didn't like going to the doctor. For me, it was very simple. I didn't like going to the doctor. I didn't want to be a doctor. I never thought about the financial benefits or all these kinds of helping people. It wasn't my thing. So I went into pharmacy, and I was like, well, is this the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? So you kind of just always kind of make the best of every situation that you're in. I mean, I didn't get into my first choice of school in Toronto, so I went to Winnipeg. It turned out to be probably the best decision of my life. But at the time, it was like a big hit not to get into your primary school. And I think as long as you're always kind of aiming for looking forward and thinking back on things you could have done differently, but don't dwell on it, that's kind of the key. But yeah, lost. Yeah. I'm still sometimes feel like I'm lost.
Do you recall if that faded at any point?
It comes and goes. Like for me personally, it's not always like you're feeling super secure in everything that you're doing. You're always wondering about how work's going, how's the family doing the right way, are you gonna save enough for retirement? You're always thinking about things. It's never feeling super. I always felt like as soon as you feel super comfortable,
That's right before the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, right. That's where I think you don't want to be ever in a super comfortable. That's my view of life, anyways. So
I have a question
okay.
that I thought of. So how Mom always says she wants me to go to law school, she wants me to be a lawyer since I was a kid. What did Bubby and Zeta say to you? What path were they trying to?
They would say,
push
I think
you
if
down?
you asked Bubby is my mom, his grandmother would say, you would have been such a good pediatrician. That was the thing. It wasn't just like doctor, it was pediatrician, because you're good with kids and whatnot.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's very funny. What about
But it wasn't like a strong every morning. Good morning, here's cereal. Go beat it.
What about Zeta? Same thing?
Yeah. But I think it was actually maybe through conversations with them around, I was interested in science and business, and I didn't want to go to medical school. I think it may have been one of them that suggested, hey, what about pharmacy? And I kind of started learning more about it. So I don't think it came from guidance counselors. But pharmacy did just pop in my head. It's kind of something that's kind of very niche, right?
Yeah.
Can you recall your first real failure in your 20s? That first one that was that hurt. That one stung a little bit.
The first failure was when I didn't get into U of T pharmacy, for sure. I did well in high school, but not great and not good enough. So that was a shot for sure. After that, going to University of Manitoba and not even trying out for the basketball team because I was here, I'm called the coach.
Would you say basketball is your main sport in high school?
For me, yeah. I mean, I feel I can play competitive basketball in high school at Chat and then at York Mills. Hockey was I grew up playing hockey since I was 6 or 7, but I only ever played house league.
Oh, you never played?
I never played. I only played. I remember.
You never played?
I played hockey once a week, and I remember going for a walk with my dad, and I'd be like, "I'm never going to make the NHL." I was probably like 12 or 13, and then I realized I'm only playing hockey once a week. What are the chances? Anyways, I still remember that walk actually.
That's right. Caravan drive.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Caravan Drive.
That's very funny.
Yeah, but other failures. I'm sure there's jobs I applied for that didn't get, and I always was brought up with the mindset of one door closes, the next door opens. So never dwell on a miss because it's the next opportunity is just around the corner. You just gotta, my dad always said opportunity. Good things happen when opportunities meet preparedness. So sometimes an opportunity will come, you're not actually ready for it. or you're ready for it, but the opportunity's not. And so the good things happen when the combination of these things come together.
Do you wish you had the chance to play sports in college?
For sure. Yeah, I had no idea the intensity of what it would take. 100% no idea. I played a lot of hoops on the driveway or whatever growing up, and my younger brother, Jay, shout out to Jay Rolnick, who's a much better athlete than me.
My uncle's
He's a very good
good.
athlete. He gets hurt a lot. I always say
does get hurt a lot.
Anyway, this is the
Like, he's
story.
good enough that, like, I needed a call up for my Brody team this summer, which is, like, mostly college athletes, and, like, I asked him if he wanted to play. He was, like, one of my first calls.
How
Like,
old
he's
is he?
48?
48.
Did he play college basketball?
No, but he's honestly probably good enough, too.
Okay.
Yeah. We never, I think, grew up knowing the intensity of what was required to play. We were very focused on education, which we still try to instill our kids too. But I think now there's the importance of competitive sport. I think there's a better recognition for how important that is, and just in terms of development and just dealing with the competitive world that we're all dealing
Yeah, I
with.
definitely didn't have that either. I didn't
Yeah.
know how intense it was, like, at all.
To be honest, though, you grew up in an immigrant household, so it was definitely like, if you told Zeta that you wanted to play college basketball, you probably wouldn't have been that big of a fan at the time. Because, I mean, I feel like it may be a little bit of stereotype too, but, like, most immigrant households
very
want,
focused on
are very
education,
focused on
yeah.
education, because that's like, I mean, education is the most surefire way to increase your floor. Like,
Yeah, you
and so
can't-
when you come to America or Canada or North America with nothing, you want your kids to have the highest possible floor.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, the ceiling, like, is amazing. High ceiling is amazing to have, and obviously you want to, like, shoot for the stars, whatever. But I think having the highest floor is something, or having the highest floor possible is very valuable, especially when you come from nothing.
Also the most secure.
yeah,
Like, it's the one
100%.
thing people can't take from you is knowledge.
Yeah, and a degree. Like, at the end of the day, if
Yeah.
you get an accounting degree, you can always be an accountant, right?
Look, I think if I was good enough to play, and I was going to go to the school that I was going to go to anyways, that
Yeah.
would have been fine.
Yeah.
But like the idea, I remember
They
when
wouldn't have let you go over to
well, I remember when we
Our
said,
Lady of the Elms.
well, I remember when, let's reverse even like go a bit earlier than that. I remember when you went to finish high school
In Iowa.
during COVID
In Iowa, and Zeta
in
was like,
small
"What the fuck
town
you doing?"
Ohio, and we're paying crazy money to this boarding school, and we're like, I can't even actually believe we actually did that, quite honestly. But when we told my parents and my family, they're like, "You're doing what?" Anyways, it was turned out to be the best thing for you. So we're really happy to be able to financially be able to put that we were in a position to be able to support your dreams, and that you honestly made the best of everything, best of every opportunity presented to you.
Mom told me one time in the car. I don't know if you're aware of this conversation.
That if I'm aware of this conversation,
you're not
Chris is
aware of
aware.
this.
I'm not aware. Well, you're about to
Chris
share.
probably is aware of this conversation.
How
I'm
would
not.
I be aware? I was in the car.
We've talked about it before, I think.
Okay.
But and I don't know if you know that I know this, but Mom told me that before I was going to AOA, you and her had a conversation, and you guys came to the consensus that if you guys didn't send me to AOA, that was gonna be a fuck up. Not a fuck up, but like I would be lost.
Well, I would say, yeah. I would say
I want you to expand on that a little bit more.
expand on that. I don't think we'd ever say you'd be a fuck up, but I think I've said to many people who will ask me, I will say I do believe that basketball helps you maintain your balance, and the intensity of what's required in basketball helped you also get good at time management and prioritize education.
For sure.
So I also remember when you went to visit friends at Laurier, for example, and you say, hey, they are in business, they got 15 hours of class a week, and then they study, and then they party.
Yeah.
And you needed more than that. And I really believe you do need more, need more than that for you to be successful. So yeah, I think I would echo that. I wouldn't say fuck up per se, but I think you'd be more lost without basketball in your life, regardless of how much playing time, many points, all that other stuff, which is a side piece to the amount of focus that you have in that sport and how it helps you to also maintain balance in your life.
Agreed. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I think that I would have figured it out, but I definitely think that basketball helped build a foundation of transferable skills, like you talked about.
Yeah, 100%.
But also, I think that it also gave me, like, the environment to develop those, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Like, it would have been tough for me to develop the discipline and teamwork and communication and perseverance and just be going to school and partying. And I think those things helped me, like, directly help me get a good job and achieve a bunch of other things beyond basketball.
No, I agree. But even think about your basketball journey with ups and downs of injuries to like going to Medai and Medai, or like first year, an unbelievable shooter in high school. Then we go to these college camps, and a couple of coaches say, hey, get your release higher. So Max sometimes works on his release.
Fucks it up for like 2 years.
Yeah, the next year, your college year, high school, your senior year in high school, terrible shooting because it's not good. Luckily, he had 2 options come. I was very nervous. He wouldn't even have options because it was your first year, grade 11 year was amazing. Like you were like a top 10% shooter in the state, I think, or something.
Definitely.
And then, but then you've had a couple options, and you picked one, it was great. Then you go compete in Israel, and then you bust your knee, and you basically miss the first year, and then you get back healthy. Then the school closes. Like think about all the ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
Like remarkable. First year here, don't get off the bench. We've come here 3 years in a row. First year, we see 2 wins. Max doesn't get off the bench.
True.
Second year, we see no wins. Max gets off the bench, misses 3. But you got good play. Missed a couple shots. Hit one, but he stepped on the line on the out of bounds line. That was a good shot.
That one's burned into his memory.
And then this year,
But you did come last year to the playoff game.
yeah,
like,
that was absolutely incredible. Seeing you, your team win, seeing you hit 3-pointers live, that was like unbelievable. This year we came here early in November and saw
Best week of my life.
Best week starter, 3 for 5 from 3, player of the game. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's ups and downs, like I said, but it's great to be able to see and support across. It's been tough though. It's been tough. More on mom than me, just seeing the ups and downs. Like I'm a little more even keel, but
a crazy thing to think about is like, so when I was going like Medai not playing at all, or not even able to play because I was hurt, and then not playing, and then the first year not playing, like something that really like, I guess grounded me and was a little glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel was like, regardless of what happens, on senior day, I'll have an opportunity to play and contribute for however long it is, and like the only thing that I really long to just have an opportunity, not even opportunity, to have proof that I can compete at this level and proof that I belonged here and proof that I wasn't here by accident and that I can contribute. I wanted to contribute to something bigger than myself physically on the court with action, not necessarily leadership, and all these things are super important, but I'm in the gym every day getting shots up and working on my game because I want to contribute positively to the outcome of the team for the better. And I knew that on senior day, regardless of what happens, if I never even saw a minute of meaningful playing time outside of garbage time, on senior day, I'll have an opportunity to most likely start and contribute for whatever it is. And what's crazy is I did start on senior day yesterday. And I got a couple looks. I did knock any of them down. So if you were looking and just blink an eye of like this, when I was thinking this until now, probably would be disappointed. But I'm fortunate that not only did I not need the senior day opportunity to contribute and make an impact or start, like I've done all of those things in moments that are in between when I was thinking those thoughts and yesterday, which is senior day. Like I didn't need senior day to start. I didn't need senior day to get buckets and make an impact and make big plays. And so even though unfortunately I did knock down shots yesterday when I got that opportunity, I didn't necessarily. That wasn't the only opportunity.
You weren't hinging your experience.
It's a lot of weight on one singular game.
But hypothetically, like that, that's a reality for somebody, for many people. To be honest with you, is like people like not everybody that plays college basketball ever makes an impact, or ever gets off the bench, or ever has contributing opportunities or contributing moments. And so, yeah, I mean, it definitely was a lot of weight on that moment. But at the end of the day, that's a reality for people. And so, if that was the case, then unfortunately, would not have much to show for it because I didn't get a bucket and got a couple boards on Randy Vasquez. But
inside hand, left leg.
Yeah, but other than that, But so originally I was a little bit disappointed in that, but then I look back at it and I think that there was so much growth from point A to point B that I didn't even need that one contingent moment to have an opportunity of success because I was able to create many, many, many opportunities of success before that, I guess. I don't really know where I was going with that, but that kind of got me thinking about that.
Reflecting on Seniors Day.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, like that was, at one point in my career, that was the only potential opportunity for success, and I did not necessarily succeed in that moment. But if you look at all the time in between, there was definitely many peaks, definitely many valleys too, but there are definitely many peaks that I didn't even need that one moment that I thought would be the only moment that I would get to experience some success in order to do things that are memorable and to contribute and to make big plays and to achieve the goal that I set out, which is just contribute to something bigger than myself, like on the court. Damn, what is that?
Police, campus, cops.
Yeah.
Paralleling off of what that worrying story, was there something that you saw in him that you were worried about that turned out to be nothing?
Probably a lot of things.
You thought Mom should be here to answer that question.
A lot of things.
Well, name them.
Well, where do you want to go?
Okay, so
Well, I want him to name. I don't want you to name your flaws. I want him to
a couple of
say
things.
what
Okay,
he saw.
So
I have to lay the background
Why?
because he's not going to say it as bluntly as it is.
Oh.
I was a bad kid. Like I got in trouble a lot in school. I
Same.
did not get good grades. My mom thought I had like some I don't even like something. No, not but maybe dude. I went to so many different like therapy things, not like mental therapy, but like visual processing therapy. And because I used to be a big ass clumsy kid. Like I was 6 foot in 8th grade, and I'm like 6'1" now, and I'm 22. Like I would be bumping in and knocking over all my
11 years.
I would be knocking over all my younger cousins, and just because my very small.
So
family.
visual processing, you
I would be
went to
bulldozing over all my cousins and
special glasses and
they
vision
thought I
training.
couldn't like see properly, and I couldn't like.
And then executive functioning, Mom, you had.
I would be going. We drove 45 minutes every Saturday morning to this spiritual lady named Maddie, and she would like. We would just do some bullshit, bro. Some yoga and some coloring. I don't even know what it was supposed to do for me.
It's supposed to be organizing is executive function. This is
It's
why
supposed to be organizing, and we did the vision therapy thing because Mom thought you guys thought that I'm like I'm just going for the ride at this point. I'm just going to play on.
No, but it's interesting. This is where when we say like basketball helps keep your balance, is like you focus. You got to be your eyes got to be working a lot because there's a lot of movement in basketball. It's time management around like so all these things that you've gravitated towards. Basketball have helped you outside of basketball for the same reasons that Mom was trying to do.
But yes, they thought I mean, you can now I lay the foundation of like I had some serious issues, and B, they addressed those serious issues with like some ridiculous methods.
But Mom's like on it. I don't know. I can't even remember. I'm honestly, I don't remember.
There was Maddie, where we drove to 45 minutes to Peterborough every morning.
There was a vision training. Vision
training.
Those are the main things, I think.
No, there was definitely a couple other things.
Well, Mom tried to get him into like martial arts because he's a little soft on the court sometimes.
That is true.
And he didn't do enough martial arts. That would have been better for you, probably.
I definitely agree. That would have been better for me.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now you can answer the question.
I don't remember the question. What was the?
There was like other things that you saw that you were worried about then that turned out to be nothing. Could be behavioral. Could it be? He's
Max behavior. Like you put a hole in your door once. Remember that you kicked the door?
I had very big anger. Like
Max could be angry. He's chilled out.
Because he's like high disagreeableness, and like I kind of am too, and so like not having something to channel that into. Like I used to bully kids. I vandalized a house once with some stuff. Like it's if you have nowhere to channel it, it just ends up exploding.
So my senior year of high school, like we talked about before, I shot the piss out of the ball my junior year, and then I went to these college camps, and I said I need to raise my release point a little bit, so I made some changes, and I didn't shoot the ball nearly as well my senior year as I did my junior year, and I had so much pressure on me because I wanted to play basketball in college. Like more than anything, I wanted to play basketball in college. And
it was a tough year.
It was tough with the ups and downs, the contrast of getting all of these individual awards and accolades and I mean, now that you look back on it, now I've actually like reflected on it a little bit.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't even know this because like we mainly only talked after the bad moments. I was still like the second leading scorer on the team, averaged like 12 points a game, hit like a 3.5 per game. If you look at that compared to the production I have now, I look like a fucking all-star.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like many people produce at that clip and still play basketball in college.
Yeah.
Regardless of what I did the junior year, which was phenomenal.
No, but it was just such a step down.
Of being an all-star to being like a very good quality role player the contrast of being like a fringe scholarship Division II player, or like really high academic Division III player, to like, am I even going to get to play college basketball at all? Like really fuck with me. And I would like have a bad game, which at that point, a bad game for me was like maybe go like 2 for 6 from 3, have like 8 points or 10 points, which I mean, if I do that shit now, I'd be the best game of my college career. Not actually, but among them. And I would crash out.
No, I'm sure it was tough for you.
Crash out, I would freak out. Like probably once a week, I would like actually have a breakdown. And I would call my dad and freak out on the phone.
We knew you were freaking out. It was
Like,
tough.
It was tough.
Tough on us, but
And
tough for mom.
I would be working
out.
out at home and do ball handling until my forearms would cramp up, and I would tell my dad, like, I think I have something wrong with me. I think like why are my forearms cramped down? It's just 'cause I've been dribbling the fucking basketball for an hour in the garage, or I would get home, I'd throw the basketball through the wall in the garage. There's still, right now, a basketball half in the wall, half out of the wall,
I've seen it.
and it's now circled and says Max was here.
Yeah.
And there's a basketball in the wall.
I remember we used to fight on the like. So remember your
Yeah,
left-hand
when I
layup?
slammed the ball.
Yeah, you'd be pissed.
I slammed the ball against the ground, hit the front of my dad's car, like the hood of my dad's car. It landed. We got into it.
Surely that must have worried you to some degree during this massive.
Yeah,
anger
you know, I haven't
fight.
seen the temper. Have you like you,
No.
you chilled out?
A ton.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, probably what chilled me out the most is having a roommate. Like my first year at Medai.
Yeah, there was
with
no crashing out with
I
Joe.
couldn't crash out because
You
first
ever-
of all, I
you ever
just
heard the
look at
saying-
this goofy ass guy and
That-
like it would just melt all of this anger.
You ever heard the saying that there can't be two people in the angry boat?
Yeah, and-
because Joe is so angry that he took it all from him.
Yeah,
like literally, Joe would crash out harder than anybody.
Really?
So,
I thought he was the most chill dude.
yeah, well, when he meets parents, he'll be. But on
Yeah.
the game late at night, like
No, he's
This is
yeah.
the guy that was like playing video games under his bed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
shout out Jovial.
wow. Okay.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
having a roommate, I felt like. Also, though, to be fair, like I went from being all star to being mid, but feeling like I was shit, and feeling like I was at the lowest point in the totem pole. When realistically, like I was like not even close to actually being the lowest in the totem pole. So now I was
Yeah.
able to kind of like accept it and then build upwards. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're at rock bottom, the only place to go is up. So how can I crash out? But I'm just living at rock. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're used to being an all-star and you have a rock bottom moment, like that's a reasonable crash out. But when you're actually at rock bottom, what the hell are you gonna crash out about being rock bottom for? You just build upwards, and so that's kind
Yeah.
of
Do you remember our fight about left-hand layups on the?
yeah. So
He-
you can talk about that. You can talk about that.
So Max would just like to do right-hand layups, and then I was like, let's try left-hand.
I was
layup.
bigger and more athletic than everybody when I was younger.
More
'Cause
athletic. I don't know. Bigger.
I mean,
for sure.
athleticism doesn't really matter,
Okay.
but I was.
But he couldn't do left hand. I'm like, Max, let's do left-hand layup. No, I don't need to do it. And I'm like, I stopped playing. He threw the ball at me, and who walked in the house? You or me? I don't remember.
No, you walked into that.
I'm not playing with you anymore. He was, and then he started working on it on his own. And to the point that when you had tryouts, I remember, for different
For
teams,
Panthers.
they thought he was a lefty,
Yeah.
which was really good.
I mean,
actually.
the left hand. What do you got?
inside hand left.
Do I
which
ever
you
do
didn't
it?
use yesterday because it would have went in.
Yeah, I don't really do lefts on my right, actually. Like for real.
All right, there you
like I
go.
drive to the left, or I have a left hand inside hand on
Yeah.
the right side usually. I actually don't really do
There's
much
a weird
left to the
blind
right.
spot that I've noticed working with kids who are younger. That like, if you're the best in your area, you just seem to think that like this is gonna stay. This is the way it is forever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I can blow by these kids. I don't need to work on this anymore. And I'm like, no, this is not how this is
But
gonna
that's
be.
you have no perspective.
Yeah, which sucks. I'd love to
that's
instill that in the
life.
kids that I've trained,
But
but
that's
like
life.
they just have to get smacked, and then they'll realize
Yeah,
that.
that's life.
But I think that anger thing is interesting because like you talk about like
I was an
dribbling,
angry
and
kid.
dude, I was an angry kid too. You could go to my childhood bedroom right now. There's holes in the roof. There's holes in the wall for me slamming the ball and dribbling in my bedroom, and it would like hit the wall, break stuff
I
off.
kicked a
like,
hole through my door, my
Yeah.
bedroom door.
yeah.
dude, I grew up in a
That's
house
still
with,
there.
with three
No,
boys. Like things just got
Like, fix
destroyed.
it.
Yeah.
Fix it. I shattered my chandelier one time, threw the pillow at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that actually is probably part of the reason why you're here because like despite the fact that it's probably not a very efficient fuel, it is a very potent one. Like when you
Yeah.
channel that anger into something,
I'm not an
works.
angry person, to be honest with you.
anymore.
Yeah, anymore. Like at all.
Channels.
Like, when was the last time like I don't remember the last time
Yeah,
I
you
crashed
really
out.
chilled.
Like at all. But I think I think it all stemmed from the fact that like always I've been and we've talked about this before. I've been a very high care person. Like I give a lot of fucks about
Yeah.
like everything that I'm committed to.
You
Like,
get that from your mom, more so
yeah.
than me, probably.
I care a lot. And so that's probably where the anger, it was a byproduct of caring so much and being frustrated with where I was at in that moment or things. And I still do care a lot. Like I don't know anyone that cares more than me about many things. But I feel like I definitely have been able to channel that differently and not as angry. It also comes with maturity too.
I also think it's probably a byproduct. Did you have other areas to compete at that point? Like during these early anger spouts?
I mean, I beat the shit out of my brother.
No, I mean like literal competition.
Oh no, I'm not good at anything.
That's
I'm not good
what
at
I'm saying. Is like I think because
I'm not good at anything else to compete at.
you're so high in disagreeableness, like you need an avenue to compete, or like there's nowhere to go. Like if you don't win something, if it's not a struggle and it's like one of us can win this, it's not
he's
fun
not-
for you.
he's
It's not fun for
he's
you.
trying to compete.
He hates games when you can't win. Like if it's just exploratory, which is weird.
Which when we played like
when we played Catan and we
Yeah.
switched over from the one mode where it's like, okay, we're gonna just all compete for this thing versus like now it's kind of more exploratory. We're all learning the rules and everything. He hates it.
so
Yeah.
fucking.
If it's not competitive, he
Yeah,
cannot
he
play.
is high compete.
Yes,
Very,
he's high
very
disagreeable. Like,
compete.
if it's
I
not competitive, he
dogged
doesn't want to
him back
play.
in
Yeah.
Yeah, I dogged him like a ton. I play online too. Me, Zach Cohen.
When Max plays basketball with like people who don't even know how to play basketball, you don't know how to take it easy on them either. Like, you're,
Oh, I pray
like,
for your kid, dude.
like-
Driveway 100-0 against my kid. Like he's never winning a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't beat my dad in 1-on-1 until I was probably in like 7th grade.
Was that?
I'm thinking maybe grade 10.
No, come on.
I was thinking about that the other day. When did I actually
10?
lose? No, I don't know.
Come
you
on.
didn't let him win though.
Dude,
No,
I
no,
dunked
not
for the
letting
first
him win.
time. Like after my grade 9 summer. Like when we were playing Von Panthers.
You say you dunked on him? Is that what you just said?
Dunked for the first time.
Oh.
Okay.
In grade 10.
I'm drawing a blank.
It was probably like grade 7.
I'll plead ignorance.
It's probably like grade 7. Dude, he plays like Adam.
It's tough to beat if it's 5-on-5.
It's tough to be in this 1-on-1 and you're 13.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't get the height genes. For you guys that probably can't really see, my dad is like 6'4".
6'3". Well, maybe now 6'2" and 6'2". I'm shrinking already.
You're one of few people that I know that underestimates your height. Because realistically, like if you went to the doctor, at your peak, you'd be like, without shoes, like 6'3 3/4. And you'd say you're 6'3". When realistically, with shoes, you're 6'5", if you're 6'3 3/4.
Okay. Maybe.
So, like, for example, like James, you know,
He used
James
to-
was Chris's roommate, a 7-footer on Medai.
Yeah, yeah.
So he would say he's like 6'9" when he's like 7 feet.
He put 6'9" on his license as a joke because
Okay.
like he
He's
was
like 7
it was just
feet.
funny.
And I've never met any other guy that underestimates their height
Yeah.
other than him and you.
Okay. Low key. That's what I am.
Low key. Do you think you were ready to be a father?
Oh boy.
Keep launching loaded
That's
questions
it.
at him
Okay.
between-
My attitude on parenthood is like, there's a reason it takes about 9 months. You got to get used to it. like baby's got to grow, whatever. But like, as a parent, no, I don't think I was ready. Alyssa had some kind of health issue stuff, and they're like, hey, you should try probably earlier than you're ready. And so we got pregnant with Maxie Boy. And
Unknown fact,
what's that?
my parents got married, got engaged after being dating for 6 months.
That's fast.
6 or 9 months. I think dated 9 months, engaged 9 months, something
Yeah,
like
so they're-
this. Something like this.
It's
Pretty.
a long engagement, but getting engaged after like under a year.
But we were older like than you guys. We were
That is also true.
26, I think, 25, 26 when we met.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
Were
you ready to be a parent?
Yeah, were you ready to be a parent? And if
I don't
not, why?
think anyone's necessarily ready. You don't know what you're getting into. You just know it's kind of like,
Some people
if
are
you
ready
want to
now.
have kids, not everyone does. If you want to have kids, you know that you're going to, and then you're going to figure it out. By the time the kids know that you don't know what you're doing, you figure it out and you know what you're doing.
That is definitely true.
Right? So 9 months to get ready, like mentally, and then kid has no idea what's going on until they know what's going on, and hopefully they grow up and realize, hey, my parents were okay. Hopefully,
I could definitely say my parents are more than okay. Very fortunate.
yeah. You don't know any different though. So
Facts.
That's not true.
No, you can't know any
You
different.
don't
You only
know
had one set of
different. You
parents.
see
I've
different.
seen other people's parents
Yeah, okay.
and their
Yeah,
relationships
But you
with
haven't
their
been
parents.
their kid though.
yeah, but
You don't have the level of intricate insight of being their child. You'll never be able to experience someone else's parenting other than your
That
parents.
is very true, but I also can see the relationships that people have with their parents, or
That's not necessarily a direct reflection of how well they parented them, because like at some
I
point,
can also see the actions of other people, knowing that they had to be raised by somebody,
sure.
and I feel like I'm self-aware enough to be able to recognize that. Yeah, I can also see from a third-person perspective how my parents parent my other two siblings as well. So that's not necessarily have to do with me. And yeah, I mean, when you're growing up, you can see how your friends' parents treat them when you're over. I mean, it's not the full picture, but I feel like you can know who was raised properly or who was raised with this different, more stronger morals or stronger. I don't know. I feel like that makes sense.
Sort of.
Yeah.
You just kind of nailed the point. But can you recall what changed after Max was born in you personally?
Well, it should get serious when you have a kid. like, you know, whether it's you think more about your career, you think more about risk, like you think about how to protect the family. It's just kind of it's a real big grow up moment. More so, like getting married just seemed like, yeah, it was fun. I mean, you don't just get married to have that for fun, but like it's the next step, whatever. But when you have a kid,
nothing
it's like,
changes really in the relationship. Like you go from loving someone to loving somebody, just title changes.
yeah, but having a kid is a different game for sure. And to your point, it's like you ask a question: when did you stop feeling not stop, but like when you lost, you stop feeling. It's like at some point, it's like it doesn't matter if I'm feeling lost or not. I got to figure out your stuff. Like even though I had a good degree and a good job, you think a lot more about. It's just a lot more pressure, I think. Now, not everyone's like that. That was for me. That was what it was. But I think you can use that to drive you, right?
Only like one here. What were you terrified about when having kids? And this goes for Max or Ryan or Zach.
Yeah, I don't know that I was ever super terrified. I was more terrified after having two boys 2 years apart. So Alyssa and I each came from great families with 3 kids, and so we felt like each wanted 3. So that worked out well that we had 3, but we also didn't have any disagreements of how many kids you want, kind of thing. But after Max and Zach they're 2 years apart, highly competitive. Mm-hmm. They still dish shit to each other all the time, but like thought of having a 3rd kid so soon was a bit scary. So we delayed a bit. So there's a 4-year gap between Zach and Ryan. We ended up with a baby girl, and that's beautiful and amazing. Thought of having 3 boys would have been kind of tough, but it would have been amazing. It would have been amazing in different ways, for sure.
My dad had 4.
You had 4. There you go. Right, but so it was not scary. I never felt actually scared. More excited, but a little nervous about going from, what do they say, man-to-man defense to zone with the 3rd kid.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy.
I can't credit that. It's not my analogy. Someone came up with that.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, that's the basketball reference for family planning.
Can you recall a moment where you parented him badly, where you look back and you're like, I don't think I did that right. I think I could have done that better.
No, I mean, look, and this sounds crazy, but you're like, I don't remember the kids when they were that young. And my parents would say the same thing. Like, how do you remember? But you I traveled a lot when Max was young. So a lot of the parenting was done by Les. Shout out to Mom. Great job. Shout out to Mom. Great job. So I don't remember I think Mom did most of the disciplinary work. I'm the good guy. When you're the good cop, it's a little easier being the good cop, not gonna lie.
You're definitely a good cop.
I'm the good cop, but I lose my shit once in a while. I'm sure I've yelled at you.
Yeah, but if it got to the point where you lose your shit,
we
already
serious.
know we fucked up, so there's already like remorse,
Yeah, by the time I lose my shit, the kids knew that they've really crossed the line.
Yeah, that's the same way my dad. Like if we did something bad enough where my dad was mad, it was like we must have blown up the house and lit it on fire.
There's something. Because it doesn't happen often.
It took so much to get my dad angry, like longest fuse possible.
Yeah. What I would always get the angriest about would be you and fighting with Zach. When you guys would fight and chirp each other and whatever, that would probably the worst thing. More than any behavior. He was a good kid growing up. You said you were good. You said you're a bad kid. You were fine. Like you never got in trouble. I don't remember getting in trouble at school.
All the time.
Not compared to Zach.
Yeah, he was bad kid too.
No, but Zach got in trouble at school. You never teachers loved you generally, no? Except for maybe the odd.
I feel back now.
Oh, that was not good.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I'm thinking more about like high school and then.
No, but in high school I was already focused on basketball. And matured a little bit. Yeah. And stuff. But no, I'm talking about elementary school. Yeah. Zach got in trouble a shit ton too. But this goes back to the conversation that we were talking about.
When?
About Zach gravitating to morons. He was. How much of it was him versus how much of it just a group of friends? They were all idiots.
Yeah, at the time, I think there's something you said as you get older and younger too. It's fine, but as you get older, is surround yourself with good quality people.
And Zach is still surrounded by the same people.
He's got good quality people.
He was surrounded by very similar people that were in. I'm calling morons now. And they're all doing great for themselves, but
they've all matured. Everyone finds their way.
But
right?
This is how much it was more of a group. It wasn't him necessarily acted out.
No, he was. His group of friends were troublemakers in junior high.
This conversation stemmed from. So I was out for dinner with Jack, and my brother and Jack are the same age, which is kind of weird. Jack's one of my best friends here, and obviously my brother's like.
It is
my
weird. It
little
always feels
brother.
like Jack's like a 10th-year senior for some reason.
Yeah,
like
Jack's
he's-
super mature. Shout out Jack. Anyways, so he was asking me if he thinks that him and my brother would be as good friends as him and I are. And I said, probably not. And I said, nothing to do with like you or anything. I think you guys would get along very well. But my brother, when I look for friends, like I gravitate to people who are like straight arrows. People who have their shit together. Like my best friend from home is, shout out Zach, not my brother Zach Cohen. He's like the straightest of an arrow as possible.
How do you explain this?
I think you're relatively straight of an arrow too.
I don't, from not what I see on the podcast.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like to be the most like unhinged person and the most like unpredictable person in the group, because if I am the most unhinged person in the group and the most unpredictable person in the group, we're going in the right direction, because I know that I'm not going to do anything stupid, and I'm not going to do anything like dangerous or stupid, whatever. So I like to surround myself with people who are well put together, can have fun and whatever, but I don't like the unpredictability and whatever. I don't know if that makes sense.
There's a chance I'll be in Guatemala in the next 6
But
months.
it's not-
And you
it's not
think that I'm
necessarily
less
about-
predictable than you?
It's not. It's more like trouble than it is like something like that. Like doing something stupid or doing something that could
You don't want to
potentially
be
get-
responsible for someone else's mistakes.
I mean, I don't even think it's as like cut and dry as that. But I just tend to gravitate to people who are more put together, more focused, more like smarter people. Like I like to be around smarter people. My brother
You like burnouts.
likes to be around idiots, and his friends are smart idiots. But they have. Am I wrong? They are some idiot. They do stupid
they're
things.
smart boys. They like to have more fun than Max.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Like my brother I can't even say that he's more often not like the smartest person in his friend group.
No.
They have he's very
bright.
smart
They're
people.
bright.
But I don't know. I think that in general, I was like he gravitated always to people that are a little more troublemakers and a little bit more.
So Max is more conservative.
Yes, that's probably what it stands
You're
for.
more just
I'm a lot more
not in
conservative.
views, just in what
general.
you do.
Yeah.
And Zach is more a little more adventurous in different ways.
So
but
that's why-
but Zach wants to be around friends more. And you like Max. I always said to Mom, and I would say, you put Max with the basketball in the middle of any town USA, anywhere in the world, Max is making friends. Like it's just because that was Zach likes to be around his friends, and they're a good bunch of kids. But some of them were little troublemakers growing up, but they're all straight.
That's all I was saying. That's probably what it is. That's a good way of putting it. It's like I'm much more conservative, so I like to be the most not conservative like Donald Trump. Conservative like
No, you're just reserved. How about that? That's a better word.
If
Reserved.
I'm the most outgoing and crazy and person in the friend group, that means
That's gonna get cut.
it's pretty damn conservative. That's in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
My brother is opposite. So Jack is under the more,
He is more
Behaved-
conservative than you.
which is exactly why I
Okay,
got
here's
towards
what-
people like that.
But
Have you-
I'm way, so if you look at the group that we had in my room when Ben came down, it was like me, Ben, Fallon, Jack, you, and it would have been Declan.
Okay.
3 out of 4 of the people in that room would have been more outrageous than you. Because I'm going to take it farther, Ben's going to take it farther, and Declan's going to take it farther.
Let me put it this way.
That is true, but that was also I don't know.
How many people in your friends group have done a pants beer? Pretty much most of Zach's friends will do a pants beer a couple nights.
never
a couple pants
understand
beers. And that's a very simple example, right?
I will
Of
never
the different friends.
understand
That's a good way of
pants
putting
beer,
it.
dude. I hang out with some outrageous people, and none of them will ever touch a pants beer. It's just a waste of alcohol.
That's what it comes down to. Is I'm conservative, so I like the people around me to kind of portray
Reserve.
that.
You got to use the word probably reserve more than conservative in this environment. But
Reserved. I'm a little bit more reserved, so if people around me are more reserved, chances are I'm not going to get out of my comfort zone. That's really what it is at the end of the day.
If we
If
use
I'm
a
around,
psychological term, it'd be high conscientiousness.
sure. So if I'm around other reserved people, then it's going to be. If I'm around other reserved people that are more reserved than me, then it's going to be up to me whether we get out of our collective comfort zone.
It's never going to get out of your control.
But my brother, pants beer.
So what you're saying is when he comes down here, we need to party with him.
yes.
Yeah.
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 Good. I want to see the side of the Rolnick that's not just like hide 2 beers and just sit there the whole night. Because I've only seen that side.
We can move on from this topic though.
What do you think was the hardest age to parent him at? And why?
And why? Well, I think the hardest would have been a couple different phases, like the AOA phase in Ohio, finishing grade 11 and 12. when that was an emotional, really tough time for Max,
agree
and it was tough for us being away. Dropping him off during COVID, not knowing when we'd see you again so quickly, that was really tough for us. That was like just being away and knowing that the struggles that he was going through was tough.
Yeah.
And then I'd say probably earlier on in kind of junior high, when Mom was trying to figure out what was up with you, vision this and executive functioning that, and doing all kinds of different things. That was probably a tougher spot, because Mom was very. I always figured things would work out for you, but Mom was very.
Well, I think it's because I wasn't doing great in school, and so she was looking for like
reasons.
outside reasons of why this could be. Maybe he has focus issues. Maybe he has these organization issues and all these different things. When in reality is the intelligence always there. I just needed an outlet to, I need something to motivate me, and having a basketball parallel to the academic journey helps pick up that floor. And
100%.
I guess attached. I guess they're kind of attached.
Yeah.
And so attaching those two things together is something that I care a lot about to something that I didn't really care for, made me care about them both a lot. So then it just went up from there. And that's honestly what
that's fair. Yeah.
It was never the visual processing issues. I mean, not to say I don't have visual processing issues, but it was never the reason why I wasn't doing good in French class. Or it wasn't like the organizational thing. I just needed something to ignite it all.
Was it you that your French teacher hated you, or you hated her?
He kicked me out of class for a week on Monday.
Why?
No, really, I don't know. No, I don't know. I probably was a piece of shit in class, talking to people, making people laugh. She would, I don't know. I wasn't.
It's French, yeah.
Yeah, definitely French. I don't remember her name, too. I'm not going to name drop her.
No, can't name drop it.
Yeah. What?
Can't name drop.
Can't name drop it.
I never liked that at school, actually. Because, I would always go to other people's tables and, talk to them and do stuff in between things. But, it's considered disruptive. But, I just wanted to be around people and talk to people and do things. And then I'd get sent to my desk. And, there's actually a point where she had a tally on my desk. She duct taped a piece of paper to my thing. And every time she caught me standing up, she put a tally there. And that was how many minutes I had to stay inside during recess.
I was just kicked out of class for the week. So I couldn't distract anybody else.
Oh, no, I don't have to do French for the week.
No, I had to do French just by myself.
Oh. Dude, I was in the office for, I think, a week and a half straight.
Oh, wow.
For, bullying kids, just doing dumb stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got sent to the office so many times. Zach got sent to the office. Zach lived in the office.
Yeah, office and home.
I know.
Take a break.
Yeah, that's funny.
Ryan was good. Ryan, his youngest, your sister Ryan is she never gets in trouble.
Never.
She's like,
yeah.
Is that same competitiveness there though?
Not at all.
No, not competitive.
Not at all.
Very chill.
Not at all.
Talks back to you and Zach though when you give her shit though. I like that. That's why I see the most competitive out of Ryan when the boys aren't quite as nice to her as they should be, and she gets fired up.
She gets fired up.
Actually, right. That's the only time I really get her fired up.
She's not competitive at all. No. She plays basketball. She's played basketball for a long time. And she never works on her game. Other than my dad takes her on the driveway and they shoot some free throws sometimes. Doesn't really care if she plays or not. Doesn't really care.
You know, it's not true.
What she does.
What's interesting is she does care, but she doesn't put the work in to change her perspective on why she cares. She cares. She doesn't get a lot of playing time. She's like, hey, I'm not going to get a lot. I'm like, well, right, you got to put in it. She understands, but she
does it for social. She plays basketball socially.
That would make sense because if she's high agreeableness and her thing, you want to win. So it's I'm going to grind me down. I'm going to contribute. But for her, it's just being there and being a part of a win for her at all, not even contributing, that's all she wants.
Yeah. But she would want to play. She would want to get more playing time and get better. Mm-hmm. She just she's very social outside of basketball and doesn't put enough time in.
That is true.
So it doesn't matter enough to her, I guess is what I'd say.
Very true, yeah.
I want to switch gears to marriage for a short 2 seconds. What do you think?
Happy Valentine's Day, Liz.
is the secret to a long, fulfilling marriage?
Yeah. All right. Where do I go with this? I'd say secrets to long respect. I'd say understanding. I saw something on Instagram the other day about there's multiple phases of marriage. Mm-hmm. And the ones that last the longest go through the phases from there's the infatuation phase of dating, and then there's you maybe try to change each other, and then you and I'm going to get all these phases wrong, mm-hmm. but it's about you got to grow together, right? People change, just whether things that you might be interested in change, your outlook on life sometimes changes. So the key is, I'd say, a lot of respect and growing and changing together, because I'm probably not the person I was I'm married now 26, it'll be 26 years this year. Like I'm sure I'm not, and Alyssa's not the same. We're not the same people we were, but I think we've reasonably grown together. And common goals is really important. So like raising the kids and spending time with them and trying to set them up for success as best we can, and having that as an important goal is good. Like, now it's interesting because you're away at school, Zach's away at school. There's more time together, which is good. And getting used to each other with having more time is also important. So those are a couple of thoughts on marriage. I'm not the most romantic person in the world, so thankfully Alyssa has been reasonably good with my lack of romanticism, if that's the way to say it.
Do you recall the toughest season of your marriage and how you got through it?
The toughest
That's an intense
season.
question.
Oh, that is an intense question for this for the ship across the border. Well, thankfully, Alyssa never shipped me across the border. So.
I remember Mom used to get so
intensity.
mad at you when you would come home from work and throw your shirt on the floor. I remember that's something that was very
Yeah.
that
How old were
came
you?
to my mind. I don't know, 15, not that long ago. The one thing that is you would come home from work, or you just have your shirts on the floor in the bedroom.
Yeah.
That would drive Mom nuts.
Yeah, little things. See, I'm not the cleanest person. I'm not like a total mess. I'm kind of like a bit of an organized mess, and I'll spend half a day cleaning up stuff. But I'm not gonna meticulously clean around all the time. I'd say, someone said to me, the things that you fight about at the beginning of your marriage, that's going to be your beginning of a relationship is going to be the regular things that you kind of bicker about. So for Liz and I, it's probably I'm the saver in the family. She's a spender, generally. She wants to she wants to enjoy, and not frivolously, but she's far more willing to spend money for enjoy. I'm more thinking about have we have enough to retire, kind of thing. So those are the areas that I think whenever we do have a bit of a issue, it's usually around that. There's a lot of love in the family, which we're blessed for, but usually it's around saving versus spending.
Differences in temperament. Like she's cleaner, you're messier.
She's cleaner. I'm also ready to I'm far more go. I can do this. We pick up this. We're gonna do that. And this is
Before they came here, my dad was in Montreal for a couple of days. Flew home, landed at 11 p.m. and drove 11 hours the next day. Left at 9 a.m.
Yeah, so I'm more I can go as soon as. But if I sit down, lie down, if we were lying down, I'd be asleep right now. If this is a couch, I'd be out.
He survives on 30-minute naps.
Yeah, I'm a big napper.
Yeah, 4 hours of sleep and 2.
I don't need a lot of I don't need a lot of night sleep, but I need a nap. And but I can go. I don't like to just sit around. I like to get things do stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. When we hang out with Ben, because Ben, me and him eat really fast. And so we'll eat our meals, we'll go next spot. Ben's one fry at a time, scroll TikTok. We're going to the gym, 11:30, it's 11:45, you're strolling in, and that really bothers me. Because it's me, I want to do this, go here, do this.
I've always been
I don't like to wait for, just sit and lounge. It's not something I enjoy doing. So I can see that causing.
I got to be busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'm asleep. It's that simple.
That's true.
Shifting gears again, back to your 20s.
Yeah.
What's a mistake you still think about, if there is any?
I back to basketball for a moment. I wish I knew what it took to play basketball in college. I would have liked to really give it a shot. I never would have been very good, but I would have liked to have given it. I'd like to know or in hockey too. I would have liked to play more hockey growing up and see how far I could have taken it. I'm sure, again, the answer would have been not very far, but I would have liked to know my
Just
skill.
what if.
So one of the things I'm very happy about for where you are is you're able to see how far you could take it, and you'll always know. You know what I mean? And that's probably a miss. Is I don't know how far I could. And again, the answer is not very far, so it's probably could have written down how far. But other mistakes. I don't know. I guess maybe it's my attitude too in life is I don't really dwell on things. I let things go pretty quick, so I don't really think about mistakes. I think about there's mistakes in business or whatever, but in terms of personal life, it's more I'm on to the next thing, and I don't dwell on things. So I don't really. That's why I'm sure I've got lots of mistakes. It is not coming to mind.
Okay. Where is he most like you?
That's a good question.
Do you know the answer to that? Where do you think you're most like me? I'm gonna be the interviewer here. Where are you most like me?
Where am I most like you?
Well, you have some
Funny
height.
enough.
He's the tallest of all the cousins.
No, I'm not, like deeper than that.
I know. I'm just.
I actually don't think that we're very similar, but I do think that we both excel in like strategy and in planning and things like that. That's one of the most important traits that I think I got from you. Is I also feel like, yeah, like strategy, planning, organization to some degree, not necessarily like clean room, but more like operations.
Mm-hmm.
Probably work ethic as well. Like
I say work ethic
definitely,
is important.
there's no one I know that has a harder work ethic than my dad. Like, so he genuinely sleeps 4 hours a night. Like that is not an exaggeration. Like for example, he dropped my brother off at the airport this morning, and I was like, "Yo, Dad, are you awake?" And he's like, "Yeah, just chilling right now. We just worked out and whatever." And he worked out in this little hotel gym at 7 a.m. Then probably got up, did some work, and then dropped my brother off at the airport before coming over here. And it's like the way he implements. Like he plays hockey twice a week, works out 5 times a week.
Not 5. I'd love to do that, but
4 times a week. Yeah. In the summer, he still does all of that and golfs multiple times a week, on top of helping my mom run the family business when he can, and working a full-time corporate job, and parenting 3 kids. It's like he genuinely sleeps 4 hours a night. Like he sleeps from like 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. and he takes 30 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe more than 4 hours, but not much. Okay.
Yeah.
I think how we're similar. We're both thinkers, but it's interesting, and you'll appreciate this because you know Max now for a long time. I think when I do my thinking, I'm just like thinking in my head. No one knows what I'm just like, I'm deep in thought. Max, he's telling the world what he's thinking. The rotation on the ball, all the details, right?
Very true.
So you think out loud, I think in my head.
Yeah.
Mom thinks out loud.
Yeah.
Like mom talks to the TV. But so we are both thinkers. You are, I think, actually more of a planner than I am.
Maybe.
Yeah. And you're more intense when it comes to, you're far more like I'm reasonably I'm competitive, but you're like, I'd say you're ultra competitive. And like
He's super high disagreeableness.
Yeah.
Super
I'm trying to think of other things. I honestly I think I'm a much more personality traits from mom.
Yeah, I agree.
To be honest with you, not that that's meant to be a bad thing.
Well, I think I'm a potentially a bit of a soothing influence on, like a calming.
Definitely.
Right? Like,
if I was just,
yeah,
I definitely need that. Whatever mellowed outness that I've achieved or fallen into over the last couple of years has definitely been stemming from being raised by you, who's like probably crashed out like 3 times since my 22 years, in the last 22 years. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things. I mean, I like to think that I'm like high intelligence, like smart, capable of learning and retaining knowledge and having strong memory and all those things that go into someone being intelligent. And my dad's one of the smartest people that I know, so I like to think that I got that from him as well. And yeah, not to say that mom isn't smart, but she is very smart.
Yeah.
But it's just a different way of. I feel like the way that I am intelligent is the same way that you're intelligent, not the same way that mom's intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like there's so many different ways to be smart and be capable and be intelligent. But the way that I'm intelligent is the same way that you're intelligent, versus not the same way that mom is intelligent. If that makes sense.
Mom's a very active problem solver.
Yeah.
You and I are a bit more reactive problem solvers sometimes.
Maybe.
At least I am. Maybe you're somewhere in between.
Maybe. Yeah.
What advice have you given him, or do you give him, that you think he ignores?
Advice that I give Max that he ignores. Well, the left-hand layup was back in the day. Let's go back to that. That he ignored that, but that he eventually came around. I think Max is the type of person that needs to sometimes come to his own realization on his own terms and times.
Yeah.
So there'd be things I can't remember, but whatever it is, if the idea didn't come from Max, it used to be anyways that it wouldn't land and it would come back around later on. This left-hand layup is a perfect, extreme but perfect example I think you become more open as you mature through this journey. That you're more open to feedback, more open to ideas. It doesn't have to. You don't have to feel like you have to solve it on your own.
Yeah.
Would be what I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. I definitely do agree with that. Like, now that really reflecting, like, yeah, if you propose something, I don't have specific examples, but if you said something would have happened to me implementing that on my own accord for me to actually, like,
Appreciate the
feedback,
idea. Yeah.
if that makes sense. But I feel like now, like, if I ask my dad for some advice or something, like, I take it seriously because I respect.
Yeah, but now you're also mature because you're actually asking for advice. Like before, it'd be like, "Hey, I'd tell you something." You wouldn't. You wouldn't be asking about it, and then you'd be like, "Nuts to that." But now that you're actually you are genuinely more curious and asking more questions.
Advice.
What's that?
So I would throw Frank at some advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like have to watch him stumble into these holes, knowing like I told you not to do this, and then it just happened anyway? Like you would just have
for sure. I don't have an example. But.
Yeah. Max, yeah. Well, I always have to tell him because Mom, again, she's a very active problem solver. I'm more like especially when you're younger, like little mistakes. It's okay. That's what you learn. I can't think about the example, but like I'm very okay with like little things happening that weren't like the ideal outcome because that teaches growth, right?
I've got opposing questions here that are going to sort of bounce off of each other. What's something you hope he never loses as he grows older?
I'm going to say it's competitiveness. Actually, I think that's that competitive drive. I think will be very for yourself and for like it's competitiveness. Like it's a competitive world. No matter what you want to do in your life, it's a competitive. I mean, unless you're maybe in a communist state, I'm not sure, but like North America, it's a competitive world, and that's so I think holding on to this competitiveness, I think, is important. I'll say three things. Competitiveness, keep that. Your deep caring, keep that. And how you treat and work with people. Because I think you do that. I think you're very, you connect well with people and treat people really well. I think those three things are characteristics that'll serve you incredibly well in life.
Appreciate that. Now he's probably going to ask you, what do you think I should
What are some things you hope he grows out of?
I don't have much to, I don't know. I'd say, he started to do more of this, but like this, we just spoke about this feedback piece. He used to be very against getting feedback, maybe except for probably for basketball from coaches or whatever. But I think being more open to feedback and actually soliciting is something that I want you to continue to do more of. That's all I can. I
think
really
probably
think
the main one.
I want you to outgrow like Tripp and the brother again. Him and Zach, they still chirp each other. And I think half the time they're rage baiting me more than anybody else. But that's the one thing that I can't stand.
The main one for a long time when I was playing basketball and like 100% devoted to basketball and to getting better into the whole college basketball and trying to play college basketball and everything that goes into that. And not to say that I'm not still, but obviously I've grown a little bit and starting to have some pillars blossom in other areas. And I think the one thing that he really wanted was for me to be able to have a little bit of foresight to see what I will do past basketball. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a professional basketball player, not going to the NBA. Not necessarily something I even want to do, even if I was of that quality. So now that it's coming to an end within the next 2 weeks, I am in a place where like now I have signed an offer to work full time when I graduate, and very happy about that. But for a long time, something I'm speaking for you at this point, but something that probably did worry you is like when basketball is done, because inevitably, even if I was a professional level quality basketball player, it will end. So what was I going to do after that? I feel like that definitely is something that and the what do you call it? The reluctance to even think about that is probably what you would have wanted me to grow out of. Because like when we were driving, when you and Zach were dropping me off at school, and we talked about this exactly on the podcast 2 years ago, and Zach was, because my brother like engineering in Ivy at the best program in the country of Canada, and he's doing awesome for himself, and he was telling me, but he's had this like strict stuff of like what he wants to do professionally for a while, even like much before I did, probably from before I even needed to start thinking about this, and he was like probably chirping me, telling me that like when basketball's done, like I'm going to be living in his basement and all these different things. And I was telling him that basketball is the only thing I care about. And I'm like, can you guard me or whatever? And just saying stuff like that. But I didn't really recognize the importance of, I guess, I don't even want to say back. I mean, just planning for the future outside of basketball, let's just say. But I mean, I obviously have grown out of that, which is
I think in the last couple of years, you've the realizations kicked in. I wouldn't say like it always worried me because I figured like at some point you're going to realize when we turn off the taps, like I figured you'd realize just a matter of when, right? So I wouldn't say like I was up at night sweating, worried that Max still think he's going to go to the NBA and he's got no chance and what's he going to do with his life. It wasn't that. I was happy that you were studying the accounting and finance. You were generally, at least that was, he was gravitating towards something that he was genuinely interested in. I thought could be quite good at. But I have noticed that shift in the last couple of years, mindset around, and it may have started from that drive when Zach was telling you that you.
Well, honestly, what it is started now that I'm kind of like putting some pieces together and reflecting on that is when I started to like have internships. So I worked for the company that my dad works for right now, which is Green Shield. It's an insurance health and benefits company, and that was my first internship. And then this past summer, I worked at Hub International, an insurance brokerage. But being around, like, in order to get an internship at a big company, like, you have to be the creme of the crop student and resume, because it is so competitive, especially in a big city like Toronto, to be able to have an internship, to have a company pay you and invest in you and invest in your future. And yeah, like all the kids I was working with this past summer are all stud students at all these different top schools in Canada, and I was working around like very smart people when I was at Green Shield as well. And being around those, like, I wanted to elevate myself. I wanted to, I guess
that's your competitive drive. That's not my point.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so the competitive drive to match these people's intellect and I guess, I don't even know what the right word is, but these people are all going to be successful. These people are working on really, really smart people who are doing really big things academically at very good schools. And I was on a different path, focusing on basketball, focusing on athletics. But in the environment I was in a studious and corporate environment, and my competitive nature, like, I don't want to say got the best of me, because it's a positive thing, but ignited me to elevate that aspect of my life as well, if that makes sense.
I think so.
What time do we have right now? 12:30.
12:35. Okay. I have to go at 1:30, but we probably have to go a little bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
We probably have like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. I have some philosophy ones that hit off at the end, but before we do that, the last one I'm going to do related to him is, what is the moment you were most proud of him?
Most proud? I think the Medai signing moment. Remember when we drove in as a family to Ohio, and I'm gonna get emotional here maybe a little bit, but that was like, because Max wanted to play college basketball for many, many years, right? And again, grade 11, fantastic year. Grade 12, relatively speaking, not such a good year, and a really emotional roller coaster up and down. Like, it was really tough on him. It was tough on us. And when we got the opportunity to join Medai, and we drove in, and they had a nice big signing ceremony that at school. That was at the AOA school. That was I was very proud that because you accomplished a really, really important goal for you, and so that was a real sense of pride. I'd say, other than that, just seeing your regular progression through basketball and dealing with the ups and downs, I'm really proud of how you're dealing with it. It's not easy, and proud, of course, that you got a new an opportunity for full-time employment when you graduate. That's a big deal, and I think takes the pressure off of that while you focus on basketball to finish the year strong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Thinking about like the job hunt and that, I guess. It was a very short season in my life where I like go from this past internship at Hub this summer to like signing 3 months later. But like that was very reminiscent of the college basketball recruiting period in my life, where I'm reaching out to tons of schools, a lot of uncertainty of where I'm going to be. Am I going to be able to land something that is a good job that's going to give me a good starting point to launchpad my career and have the necessary pay and prestige and all these different types of things that are important to me when finding a initial job. And that was like very I felt a lot of similarities between that and the
Yeah.
recruiting process. The one thing that was different is, objectively speaking, not to like necessarily, I mean, it's not getting too my own horn because I'm going to say the negative before the positive, but realistically, I'm a much higher candidate for a high-level corporate job than I am for a college basketball team. So it was, the recruiting process was much easier for me too, because I was way more highly touted to, or I don't know what the word is, highly coveted to be a employee for a Big Four firm or for whatever financial institutions that I was looking into, as opposed to like a college basketball team. So that's why it was it was also much shorter.
Yeah.
But there definitely are some similarities between both of those. So I can understand why both, like, you would feel a similar sense of pride.
Yeah, well, it's about setting goals and achieving them, right? And then it's interesting. Sometimes when you set goals, you set high goals and you achieve them, you often don't actually realize how you've climbed, whether it's in personal life, in business, because you're like, okay, what's next? Yeah. It's kind of like, so, but those would be moments that I thought were big ones.
Yeah.
What do you think makes life meaningful?
That's a tough one, I've been saying to Alyssa lately, like, what is the meaning of life? Like, it's because like you find a partner, you aim to set a life together. If you want to have kids, you have kids. And when you make that choice to have children, you want to see them being as successful, and you want to set them up as best you can. And, we're very lucky. We're blessed in so many ways, our family is, that the kids are, I'd say you, Zach, right, you're kind of on your way to wherever you're going to be. And then you're left like, what's the meaning of, like, so I've become a little more introspective on that topic. I don't think I have the answer per se, but I have been more introspective lately on that. It's like, how am I going to search for, because when the kids are younger, you're driving around to activities, like you're working, traveling, and activities. That was kind of like the main thing. And now you have more time on your hands. Like, how do you feel that in a meaningful way? So like Max saying, I'm spending a little more time on myself, working out, playing hockey, etc., which I like. But I want to figure out what else I can be doing, because the next phase is not necessarily about like spending as much time with our kids. It's more about spending time with each other and maybe doing more things in the community and things like that.
Interesting to think about. You go from like being an individual to being like a partnership and relationship.
Yeah.
To then being full focus as a parent. And then after that, you go back to technically being an individual, because you're obviously still in a relationship. I mean, not necessarily, obviously, but you're still in a relationship.
Yeah.
You're still in a marriage. But it's not. It's 26 years later, so it's not. There's much more individuality in the. Yeah,
there's a more individual component to your life. So you go once the kids get to a certain point.
Transitioning,
Yeah, and then so the meaning. What's your meaning?
Again.
What are you meant to do in that time? It's like, hey, should I spend time on myself? Is that selfish? Is that allowed? Is that like you got to get yourself back a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What makes you proud of your life, other than Max? Just your own personal life.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd say I'm proud of of our family unit in general. I think probably a lot of good luck and along the way. Like, and Alyssa and I both come from very strong family households that helped us. And I think we're setting a good example for the kids. At least we try.
Definitely.
So I'm proud of how the kids are developing, and I feel like I'm going to say that's all I have to say about that. It's like a Forrest Gump something. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You have a lot to be proud of that is completely separate to the three of us.
Yeah, no. Look, I got a great relationship with Alyssa. I'm very proud of that. That marriage isn't easy, but we love each other and we're very lucky. I'm proud of Alyssa's the family business that we started, that she's running. That's coming along. I'm proud of how I'm growing in my career at Green Shield, doing a pretty good job. And we're kicking ass in the market, so I like that. So lots to be proud of. Can
I toot his horn a little bit?
Right.
Like, not because he's being very. I mean, he's at the pinnacle of. He's in like an extremely niche job. Like, extremely niche job, but he can't get any more. There's nowhere to level up in this field. Like, he's at the pinnacle of the field that he's in. It's very niche, but he's at the pinnacle of the field. He went to Harvard for He's an executive MBA from Harvard.
Not true. A week. It's a 1 week. It's not.
You have an executive MBA from
It's not
Harvard.
executive. It's a week executive development program. It's not the same.
Certificate from Harvard, which is very cool. I mean, he has 2 master's degrees, a master's in pharmacy and a master's in business. I actually crossed the stage with him when your master's in business at York, when you graduated, which is funny.
Yes, that was a very proud moment when I did my MBA, got married, started an MBA part time. Took me 3 1/3 years, and Max was born 3 years into the MBA or 2.5 years in. And so when during graduation, they called me up, and I brought Max up with me, a little baby in my arms. That was an awesome moment.
Yeah,
that was an awesome moment. That was tough on both of us and I too, because we got married, we were young, and all of a sudden I'm out 2 nights a week at school. But that was an important moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of other things I want to say, not necessarily want to say on the podcast as well, but there are definitely many other things that are. I mean, also like I don't know many 53, 52,
52 still,
52 that are in as good shape as you are physically. Like, we needed a sub for our pickup game in Florida, and my dad subbed in for a couple possessions. Game came off a couple DHOs from him, knocked down some shots, and I mean, how many 53-year-olds, 52-year-olds can play basketball? They're on that court was me, who plays college basketball, Avi, who plays college basketball, and other, like my brother who's 21, and like young men. And he was able to like definitely.
I didn't break my foot this time either.
Yeah, the last time we did
2 years ago, that was a mess. Yeah.
So I think that
talked me out of retirement.
In itself, something to be proud of. Like you're like how.
I don't talk about myself. I guess I don't. I'm not like you ask me these questions. Like I'm not
52 years old and can do multiple pull-ups. Like
more than Zach.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think so.
Not more than Zach, even though Zach does shitty ass pull-ups.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah. So and I mean, there's many other things like, I mean, business-wise, financially, but we don't need to talk about that on the podcast. But you have many things to be proud of.
Thanks, pal. Love you, bud.
What is the thing you miss most about your youth?
Wow. I can tell you that I miss being able to move really with speed. Like, I feel like I'm like slow-mo. Like, I still play hockey. What's crazy is like you get on the ice and you see the other team and they look so fucking slow. And you're like, oh my God, these guys are terrible. And you get on the ice and end of the first period, you're down 5-0 to this team. Like, that's what happens. Like,
slow.
You're like way worse, right? So you somehow you just start being less flexible. So that's why I try to work out and stretch and stay flexible. So I miss that for sure. I find like as you get older, you take life more seriously somehow. So whether it's planning for retirement or thinking about, the next stages of your life. When you're younger, you're just kind of like living a little more day to day and not thinking so far out. So in search of meaning of life, I'm trying to be more in a moment, right? I'm still thinking too far out, and rather when you're younger, I felt I was a lot more spontaneous.
I will say, as you've gotten older, you have like said yes to more things that I wouldn't think you have said. Like,
oh, really? Like what?
I can't think of examples, and maybe it's like has to do with like financial things.
Okay.
And maybe that has to do with like more financial flexibility as you've gotten older.
Yeah.
But even like some things, I'm trying to think of examples, but just like doing things or spending money on things, you've definitely been.
Well, this has helped me mature in that way. I used to be like, I just want to save money. I don't want to like. Yeah. And I'm more open to spending now than I ever used to.
Yeah, but I think it's also more than that. It's also more like, I mean, maybe that's the backbone of it, because you need to be able to support various endeavors or whatever it is. Like, it's hard to do things without the financial backing behind it. And obviously, as you get older, you have more money, you work for more time.
Yeah. But I did. So if actually back to your question about regrets, I never traveled much when I was younger. I wish I would have done more of that. See the world when you're younger and can do all kinds of fun, cool things.
You traveled a bunch, like for leisure, you're saying?
I mean, I traveled for work, but it was
for leisure. You told me that story about the UK thing today.
Yeah.
I didn't know you ever been to the UK.
Yeah, I traveled a lot in business, but it was like in and out.
Tell us that story. It's pretty funny.
It is a good story. I told Max today. So I was flying home. I worked at AstraZeneca, a big pharma company, and I was on these global teams. So I traveled to like Barcelona, Germany, UK for like a couple of days and come back. And So I was flying home business class, and I'm not sure if I actually got upgraded or because it was a long flight overseas. So next to me was Ken Thompson. That was his first name, Ken. He was, I think, the founder, one of the wealthiest families in Canada. I think the founder of the Globe and Mail and a bunch of different things. And so he's an older gentleman at the time. I think, may rest in peace. I believe he passed away. But he had like this old guy who I never seen before, but he's wearing this Globe and Mail jacket. And I'm like, that's kind of curious. And he introduces himself. And then somehow so we started talking a little bit. I'm not the most social guy, but he seemed to be pretty open to conversation. So he asked me a couple of questions. And at the time, Zach wasn't born. We had just had Max. And he said, so do you have any kids? I was like, yeah, I've got one. His name's Max. He's like, Maxwell? No, just Max. He's like, I love that. One syllable, strong, powerful. One syllable. I still remember that conversation. So, and you've grown up to be strong and powerful.
I appreciate that.
One syllable. So I did travel, but I didn't travel. I never really saw the world. I traveled for business, in and out a couple of days. Mm-hmm. I would do more of that when I was younger, for sure.
I mean, that honestly maybe it as well as like things you said like yes to more as like mom proposes like we should go here for this.
No.
Absolutely.
And then we get into a little fight, and then we eventually go.
But now, like, I mean, yeah, maybe more open, and maybe it's a culmination of all those things.
Yeah.
That could be definitely one of the things. It's like travel as well.
Yeah.
Which probably goes to what you were just saying.
Yeah.
What else we got?
What still scares you?
What still scares me?
Yeah.
Openly, I think I want to have enough money to retire when I'm ready to retire. Okay. So that's something I'm like, well, I haven't. Like I think about that probably too much. And then just being healthy, and our parents are getting older in age, and so I want to try to spend more time with them too. Knock on wood, they're doing well, but as they get older, knock on marble.
Powerful.
Yeah, so just you get to the stages of life, you're thinking about different things. You're thinking more about how do you make the most enjoyment of the rest of all the fantastic, hopefully, years you have left, and the same thing with my parents and my in-laws. I want to make sure we're spending and supporting them as much as possible through their next chapter. I want to spend as much time with you guys while we can. And that's what I think about.
I think I know where you get that from now. The whole security thing. You just don't want to have scarcity. And that seems to come from him. Because we talked about that in the podcast. Really, your end goal is always to just not have to need something. Like you just want to have enough to be safe or secure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I was always like that. Like even as a baby, like for example,
Max was born. Maybe you can show a picture of your first baby picture with this crazy serious face, and he was like I'm not even. And you see, it's funny because Zach's first picture, he's like this big cheeks, big dimple, just gonna gonna go to town. Max's first picture is
the basketball.
No, not that. Way before that. I'm talking the first the 1 month pictures, just serious face.
I used to walk when I was a baby. I remember this, and you can probably attest this more. Remember this more than I can. But like if I had crackers, I needed 3 crackers. I need to be eating one. I need to have one in each hand. And then if I ate one of the crackers in one of my hands, I need to go and get another one to have that in the other hand. I always needed
OCD.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I needed to have, or for example, Cheerios. I would always have an off hand of Cheerios, and I would just because I needed
extra
to have
extra hand.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, maybe it does come from that.
Maximizing life early, just maximum resource grabbing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can't waste time on the hand. It has to be on the hand.
No, I just needed that's the security of having enough, I guess. Mm-hmm. And maybe it does come from
Hereditary.
Maybe. But that's interesting because I don't know if you were always like that. That's why I brought that up because when I was a baby, I was still had those traits that you obviously have noticed of needing that security. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you necessarily
instilled that in him or birthed it into you.
Well, because I don't know if you were necessarily like that when I was 4 years old.
No, when you're a baby having extra hand of Cheerios, you can't teach that. That's
that's hard. Can't teach. That's
Come on,
hard.
kid, have another hand of Cheerios. Let's go.
That's
Never
hard.
know when you need another hand of
I don't know.
Cheerios.
And then you could also ask the question well, was that innate in you, or did you develop that based on
nature, nurture?
Yes, yeah. I don't know. But I definitely that's another way I'm similar to him as well.
Let's see how much time we have left. We have 5 minutes. I have the last question. I don't know if I want to ask it yet, though. I'm going to ask this one, and then I'm going to ask the last one.
Okay.
At what point did you first feel like a man? Truly had your "I'm a man" moment?
I saw that question on there when I was looking over it, and I was looking forward to
I mean, I have to say, when I got into pharmacy school, like for me personally, that was like an amazing, serious like accomplishment for me personally. That was big. My earliest kind of decision like would have been when actually it's basketball related. So I did 4 years of high school, and then I did another half year to finish. At the time, it was like the 4.5 years of high school or 5 years when I was growing up in Toronto. So I went to my local school, York Mills, for this half semester, and I was on the basketball team, and we were kind of on the playoff like bound, but I only signed up for the one semester because I only needed a few courses to get what I needed. So I had to quit the team. And then I could have actually taken another course in second just to play basketball. I didn't because I wanted to make money. And so I worked in these different whatever jobs. But that was the first time like I just made a real like big boy decision.
Yeah.
Like quit basketball. The team wasn't happy. I was the starter at the time. That was like whatever. But that was like, that's a big decision I just made.
Yeah.
Didn't feel great, but
Panned out.
panned out.
Last one.
All right, hit me.
What do you hope Max understands before you're gone? Wait, did I already ask that? I didn't ask that already, right? No. Yeah. What do you hope Max understands before you're gone?
Gone like before I leave this
planets.
world?
Yes.
Or before I
What do
leave
you hope that
Chicopee?
if it can only be one
This
thing,
weekend?
one thing that he can take from your entire fatherhood, what do you hope that is?
You asked the deepest, first of all, thank you. You asked deep questions I've never thought of before. And I really appreciate your questioning. The one thing that I want him to take away from my influence
Your
on
entire
him,
relationship, what is one thing that you hope he takes away before you leave this planet?
don't sweat the small stuff.
I'm going to push you farther on that. What do you mean by small stuff?
I mean, life's full of ups and downs, and focus on the big rocks. Things aren't going to always go your way. It's Olympic season right now. So think about the moguls, right? There's ups and downs. I'm not going to get too deep. I don't know. It's just like, don't let small stuff, whether it's in relationships with your girlfriend, family, don't let that, affect you too much. Just focus on the right things, and stay positive. Have a positive outlook is so, so important. Like life can beat you down at times, but find the silver lining. Always find that silver lining, and you'll soar in the clouds.
So, like, not sweat the small stuff is something that you've told me since I was a little kid. When I would be
Yeah, you remember me saying that?
Small stuff.
Yeah.
But there's 3 things that I think that are quotes like that I'll remember forever.
Okay.
One of them is if you're gonna ask me that before you even said that, would definitely be don't sweat the small stuff.
Interesting.
The second one would be good things come to people who wait.
Okay. Yeah.
The third thing is a more recent thing, which we've talked about, which is don't be penny smart and pound foolish.
Yes. I've done that a few times. Investing or other things. But yeah.
Those 3 things, I think, are things I remember for a long time. But I think don't sweat the small things is probably the most important, and definitely one of the things.
Yeah.
Like I've talked about that on the podcast too before.
That's awesome.
About something that I've definitely learned from you.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Wrap it.
Awesome. Thank
Love you,
for coming
Maxi
on.
boy.
Thank you for coming on. That was
Chris,
awesome.
thanks for the opportunity to answer these very deep questions. I appreciate it.
Well, she